everybody, and welcome back to another new vlog. Thank you for joining me once again. What a beautiful day. I've come back to Sutton Park again because I wanted to photograph this bench here behind me. This bench just here. Now obviously benches for some reason have been creeping into my images for the last few weeks quite a bit. So this is another one that I wanted to photograph, but I love the way that the landscape ahead of that bench all kind of drops away into a dip and then it starts to creep up again to the top of a hill. It makes it quite an interesting image, and what I want to do here is focus on this bench itself and then use a very narrow aperture, so I've got quite a large depth of field. That means that all of the background will very slowly start to fall away in focus. So the bench will be in focus, and a few yards ahead of that bench will also be in focus, and then as you get further over the other side of that dip, you'll find that everything else is very slightly out of focus, but only very slightly, and that's with an f/16 aperture. I've also discovered that there's quite a high dynamic range here because we've got cloudy skies but quite bright skies, and the foreground obviously is quite a bit darker than the background, the sky. So I wanted to make sure I captured all of that detail in the sky as well as all of the detail in the foreground. So I've bracketed these shots with 3 separate exposures, and then I'm going to combine those together at the end of the day. So I hope you like this image. I'm going to make a move now because the other side, the far side of that landscape that I've just been photographing over there, over this way just behind me, the far side of that, there's an area called Queen's Coppice. It's an area where I've photographed before, but I want to go back there and see if I can do something a little bit different today. But on the way back there, I'm going to have to cross that landscape that I've just photographed, and I'm sure there are several other compositions that I can capture whilst on my way over there. So let's move on and see what we can capture now. So I've found myself another little spot just here. I'm trying to protect the camera a little bit from the sun. I found myself another little spot just here where there's quite a nice exposure that I want to capture. There's sunlight on the side of a tree here, which is giving a really nice effect on the side of this tree, but then there's a pathway that runs up beside the tree, up a slight slope, which I've just come down in actual fact, and then I've got a tree stump, a little bit of a tree stump just in the first third of the image, kind of a third of the way into the image. It looks quite nice. I will show you the composition now so you can see exactly what I'm looking at, because I really quite like the way the light catches that tree. So as you will see, to the right hand side of the image you've got this tree just here, which stands right at the edge of this path that kind of runs up this slope and beyond the tree. And then just over here in the bottom third of the image, right on the bottom third line, you've got this stump of a tree here, which kind of points you towards the path itself, and then the path leads you towards the tree. So this is going to be my next image. I hope you like this one. So how do we create separation within our landscape photography images? Well, I think I might have found an example of a shot here which will kind of showcase that perfectly. You might not be able to see very well because of this sunlight, but behind me we've got a group of these coniferous trees which are very tall, and you've got the sunlight dappling through the trees just here. But beyond that, there's some more of the parkland which kind of rises up again in another bit of a slope towards the edge of the park, and at the far edge of the park, probably only about 250 yards away from here actually, there is another line of trees, and as you look through these trees here, one or two of them create a perfect framework for the trees behind it, and we've also got quite a lot of colour in those trees behind, and some of the trees in between as well, some of the foliage just in the mid-ground as well. So this is quite an interesting shot. It's going to be a portrait orientation because I want to be able to crop in at the end and really take advantage of that separation we see in these trees. What we've got here as well is hazy sunshine. Although it's quite bright, there's a bit of cloud around, and it's creating kind of a little bit of haze, which also creates separation between these trees in the front here and the trees further back in the image. So I'll set up and take this shot now, and I hope you can understand what I mean when I talk about separation. Now that I've captured that shot, I want to just head over to Longmoor Pool, which is only a few hundred yards in that direction. Only take me about 5 minutes to get there. But there's quite an interesting image there, which I think would make a very nice portfolio image at this time of year. So I'm going to pop over there and capture that. And it really makes use of this sunshine as well. That's all I'll tell you. So stick around to see that image as well. Well, here I am over at Longmoor Pool now, and just over on the far side of this pond there is a couple of trees, 2 or 3 trees that I want to get the long lens onto and photograph them. In between them, you guessed it, there's another bench, but quite often I'll come to this spot and try and capture a shot of those trees with that bench, and there's people sitting on the bench, and I can't really take a landscape photo of those trees and that bench while there's people sitting on it. I want it to be a completely empty bench, but that's just purely my own choice. So I'm going to get the long lens out and try and take those trees now, but I want to show you something else as well. Just over my shoulder, just there, those coniferous trees in the background in the distance, they are Queen's Coppice, where I was just stood to take that last photo. So I've literally walked around down to the pool itself, around here and around the edge of the pool to get to this particular spot. So I'm going to set that image up now and take that. You'll probably see Queen's Coppice just in the far corner of this image as well when I capture it. So I'll set up now and take that. Well, that was quite interesting. There's no leaves on those trees at the moment, but in the autumn, when there are leaves on the trees, the leaves go a very sort of golden orangey colour, and when the sun falls on them nicely, it really lights them up and gives you an absolutely brilliant portfolio image. This one here though, today, I took a photo of those 2 trees, but I also then zoomed in a little bit further to get a close-up of that bench, as close as I can get to it from here with a 70 to 300mm lens, and that looks quite good as well, so I quite like that image. But also I decided I was going to go wide angle at the very last minute as well, so I got my 17 to 40mm lens out and put that on the front of the camera, and I've opened it up to 17mm and taken a wide angle shot of that as well. It's a great scene, and it captures all of those coniferous trees at the back over at Queen's Coppice. So that's it for today's vlog. I hope you've enjoyed all these images. I've enjoyed taking them. It was just nice to get out and about again, really. So if you've enjoyed this vlog, then please remember to like and subscribe, and comment and share if you feel you need to. And I shall see you again on another vlog very soon. Bye for now.